South Park's third season gave us some of the wildest, weirdest, and most memorable episodes in the form of the Meteor Shower Trilogy. Over the course of one chaotic night, we get to see the same event from three completely different perspectives of three completely different characters. Let's dive into the brilliance behind these three episodes and how they intersect.
Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already.
In 1999, Matt and Trey were in the process of making South Park bigger, longer, and uncut. Also during 1999, they were in the process of producing South Park's third season. Some people say that South Park's third season really takes a hit because they're focusing all their energy and time towards the movie, but personally, season 3 is one of my favorite seasons. Anyways, with that out of the way, let's get into it. How the Meteor Shower Trilogy is one of the most overlooked South Park media. The first episode, Cat Orgy, gives us a classic Cartman story, but with a twist. Instead of being the manipulative ringleader, Cartman finds himself at the mercy of Stan's older sister, Shelly. She's aggressive, mean, and has no patience for his shenanigans. Just like every other character in South Park, Shelly is based off a real-life person. In this case, it's Trey Parker's sister, also named Shelly, whom he said used to bully him when he was a kid. Anyways, the second Shelly gets there, she lays down the law and makes sure Cartman knows that she's the real authority. Cartman, of course, can't handle losing control of his own house, so he attempts to regain control by begging, and when that doesn't work, bribing Shelly. And when neither of those work, he puts on his cowboy costume and declares war on Shelly. Now, Shelly may not be too hard for Cartman to handle, but things get even more complicated when Skyler, Shelly's older boyfriend, shows up. Skyler is a stereotypical cool bad boy. He plays in a band, he's rude, and he's way too old for Shelly. He's 23, Shelly's like 12. Cartman sees Skyler as another threat to his control. The second Skyler gets there, he takes over the couch and treats Cartman like a nuisance, demanding food and asserting his dominance. Shelly, really into Skyler, ignores Cartman's protest when Cartman catches Skyler writing terrible cliche song lyrics and treating Shelly poorly.
When I saw her walking down the street, I thought she was Shelly.
He decides to expose Skyler. While Cartman tries to handle both Shelly and Skyler's takeover of his home, he also has to deal with Mr. Kitty's increasingly chaotic antics. From knocking over the furniture to jumping in Cartman's face mid-argument, Mr. Kitty's wild behavior adds an extra layer of madness to the night. Finally, after exposing Skyler's manipulative nature and bad music, Shelly kicks him out. The power dynamics shift as Shelly reclaims her independence and Cartman, though still defeated, enjoys a moment of peace. With Skyler gone, the night winds down. Shelly and Cartman share a brief quiet moment on the couch. Then Cartman vows to get revenge on Skyler for Shelly. A very strange mix-up in his behavior that we don't really see a lot. This behavioral twist with Cartman is the reason why this ranks so high on my list. I love to see Cartman being a horrible and villain and all, but it's also nice to see that he has a heart. Hey guys, voice over me here. I am recording these lines. Some of these lines are like 2 o'clock in the morning, so if the quality sounds a bit different, you'll know why. Anyways, Cartman's masterful plan to get back at Skyler. After plotting, Cartman and Shelly team up for revenge and head into the woods near Skyler's house. Cartman lures Skyler out by playing a recording of Selma Hayek impersonation, giving Shelly the chance to sneak in and destroy his prized guitar. Cat Orgy is such a fun and chaotic episode. The dynamic between Cartman and Shelly is hilarious. Cartman is his usual arrogant self, while Shelly's completely fed up with and takes every chance to put him in his place. Their interactions are full of over-the-top arguments that make the episode so entertaining. Like Shelly when he throws Cartman or slaps him, that's just really funny, because you just love to see Cartman get his comeuppance. Also, Skyler adds another layer of absurdity as the wannabe musician with his cringeworthy songs and his cool guy persona. The scene where Cartman uses his Selma Hayek impression to lure Skyler outside is ridiculous in the best way. And Shelly, working with Cartman to destroy his guitar, is just such a satisfying moment. Overall, it's a great example of how South Park's ability to mix ridiculous humor with character-driven stories. Matt and Trey really hit a dime on this one. Is that a saying? Hit a dime? I don't know, but it's a really good episode. Out of the Meteor Shower Trilogy, I'd rank it 2.
When I saw her walking down the street, I thought she was Shelly.
Next up is Two Guys Naked in a Hot Tub. Now, despite the name, it's not as weird as it sounds. Okay, it's a little weird, but like, just trust the process, alright? This episode takes us to Mr. Mackey's Meteor Shower Party, which is where Cartman's mom is when she leaves at the start of Cat Orgy. Things kick off when Randy and Gerald, trying to avoid small talk with the other parents, end up in the hot tub. When Randy and Gerald are sitting in the hot tub, they monkey phonics in the hot tub.
Hey, yo!
In front of each other as an experimentation. Anyways, meanwhile, Stan's experience downstairs is its own kind of disaster. Stuck in the basement with Butters, Pip, and Dougie, Stan is trapped in his own social nightmare, which is where his dad is too, but we'll get to that later. The boys attempt to roleplay a secret agent mission to pass the time, which quickly devolves into Pip being, well, Pip.
All right, here we go. Whippy-tippy-too-too, tra-la-la-la. Yippee-tippy-too-too, tra-la-la-la.
Just as Stan is about to lose it, it takes a turn for the insane upstairs. The ATF, yes, the ATF, believes the party is a cult planning a mass on the meteor shower night. Instead of asking questions, they lock and load, turning the party into an accidental hostage crisis. Inside the house, Randy and Gerald are still having their heart-to-heart.
Look, I'm just having a hard time with what we did in the hot tub.
So now we can't be friends?
I didn't say that.
Blissfully unaware of the chaos unfolding outside. Their awkward conversation reaches a peak when Randy accidentally makes things way more personal than necessary. Meanwhile, the ATF's misunderstanding escalates into a full-blown standoff with floodlights, helicopters, and SWAT teams surrounding the house. As this happens, inside, Stan and the others find some cookies and a TV in order to fulfill their next mission. Stan then turns on the TV and discovers that the ATF is outside and they're planning to destroy the building.
Primary concern of all. There are choppers here along with several tanks.
Oh my God!
The boys then obviously try to stop this before it's too late. Butters tries to warn the parents about the ATF situation, but they're too drunk to pay attention. So with Dougie's help, they create a mock news report to explain what's happening inside the house.
This is Jill Monroe reporting live from inside the meteor shower party. As you can see, this is a perfectly normal party. Nobody is killing themselves. We tried to tell ATF people, but they shot at us.
Since the front door is too dangerous, they need another plan. Pip uses his archery skills to shoot a plunger onto Officer Barb Brady's head, and Butters slides down the line to deliver the news report. After Butters hands the tape to the news anchor at the scene, he plays the tape and explains that it's simply just a party, and all is saved. But this doesn't go without the ATF accidentally launching a missile and destroying 3 other houses. After the ATF leaves and everybody is settled down, Stan tells the others that he shouldn't have ridiculed them, and admits they're actually pretty decent people. For a moment, it seems like a heartfelt bonding moment, but as soon as Kyle shows up with Ike from Jew Scouts, Stan immediately switches back to mocking the Melvins without missing a beat. Stan, Kyle, and Ike head inside to talk about Kyle's wild night, leaving the others stunned by the sudden shift. 2 guys naked in a hot tub stands out as one of the funniest and most cleverly absurd episodes in South Park's history. It takes the familiar awkwardness of social gatherings and transforms it into cringe-worthy moments. What makes the episode so memorable is its relatability. Stan's unwantingness to fit in with the Melvins captures that universal struggle of having to hang out with the geeks, or the Melvins as he likes to put it. His brief moments of kindness followed by a quick return to mocking them when Kyle arrives is both hilarious and incredibly realistic. The ATF's overreaction to what they believe is a cult gathering adds another layer of humor, showing how institutions can completely misread situations and escalate them unnecessarily. The fact that the partygoers remain oblivious to the chaos outside makes the whole scenario even funnier. In the end, it's the kids who resolve the situation. The episode's blend of humor, social commentary, and heart makes it an unforgettable part of the Meteor Shower trilogy, demonstrating South Park's ability to turn ordinary events into brilliantly over-the-top storytelling. This is why 2 Guys Naked in a Hot Tub has to be my favorite.
Hey, yo!
That sounds weird. Has to be my favorite out of the Meteor Shower trilogy. It's an S tier.
When I saw her walking down the street, I thought she was Shelly.
Ah, man, you guys.
The last and final episode of the trilogy focuses on Jared and Sheila heading off to the meteor shower party while Kyle and Ike are on their way to Jew Scouts. When there's an unexpected knock at the door, it turns out to be Kenny, who has nowhere else to go.
Oh, hey, Kenny. I can't watch the meteor shower with you, Kenny. I have to go to Jewbilee. It's what we do in Jew Scouts. Usually we just sit around and make stuff. But tonight, because there's a meteor shower, we're going to do some big thing out in the woods.
Although hesitant, Gerald and Sheila let Kenny tag along with Kyle and Ike. On the ride there, Sheila enthusiastically explains the basics of Jewish faith to Kenny. Once they arrive, it is explained that at Jew Scouts, the older scouts head into the meeting room while the younger children, known as the squirts, head to their lair. Inside the meeting hall, the new recruits undergo an initiation ritual that involves giant bell being placed over their heads and rung loudly. Kenny tries to resist the disorienting effect, but only makes things worse for himself.
Nahi Kayam.
After the initiation, the scouts start working on soap sculptures. Meanwhile, in the meeting room, a sacred space where entry is forbidden during official meetings, various sects of Judaism introduce themselves.
Now, let us introduce ourselves. Elder Karn from the Orthodox Synagogue.
Elder Harris from the Hasidic sect.
Elder Garth from the Synagogue of Anti-Semites.
What?
Among them, an unusual sect devoted to Haman makes its presence known.
All sects of Judaism follow the words of Moses.
Not mine.
Enough, Elder! You will not speak the name of Haman here!
The Squirts leader, who's trying to earn a Kutzpah badge, I think he said, takes him on a hunting trip, but things go south fast when a bear shows up and starts snatching up the kids, like he's in the Black Phone. Eventually, the leader gives up and leaves. Back at the camp, the Haman-worshipping leader kicks off his evil plan to free Haman and trap Moses. He takes everyone hostage. Wait a minute, I'm trying to notice a pattern here. And their only hope is Kenny, who's wandering around in the woods. Kenny runs into the bear and the Squirts, who explain that the bear is just protecting her cub. It's his birthday and she brought the Squirts to see him. Kenny tells them about the chaos back at camp and they all head back to save the day. The Squirts stack themselves into a human ladder to unlock the door, and Kenny finds Moses trapped in a shell. He smashes it open with his head, which also takes out the Haman leader. Moses is then freed and destroys Haman for good. In the end, Kyle admits they were wrong for kicking Kenny out. Moses forgives them and says they should celebrate every year by bringing him soap sculptures, macaroni pictures, and paper plate bean shakers. It's a totally weird but awesome ending that only South Park could pull off.
When I saw her walking down the street, I thought she was Shelly.
Though I didn't find Jewbilee the most interesting or amazing plot of the South Park trilogy, I still think it was amazing, and I'd still recommend that you go watch the entire trilogy as it is. This is not a replacement for those, so thank y'all for watching, and I will see you again probably in about a week. Like, subscribe, all that.